Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. This program is all about craft beer and sometimes not craft beer, fine spirits,
just
and
so
hand-rolled
you know
cigars.
that aftertaste is still affecting us.
Yeah, it is, especially Ian, who is he's as jumpy and fired up as I've seen him on the show. Our show is brought to you by B&B Butchers and Restaurant at 1814 Washington Ave in Houston, and in the shops at Clear Fork in Fort Worth. Still to come, we'll be tasting Everybody's Brewing the Carrillo. We'll also be talking about the Texas Whiskey Festival winners. But earlier this year, Ian and Adam, our producer, and I were invited to Honduras by the people that do the JRE and Aladino cigars.
There were cigars smoked and there was rum drank.
Yes, a lot of that happened. All of it was good.
Yes.
And we had a good time, but had a chance to meet some people and find out about what their shops were like at other parts of the country that we had not had a chance to visit. And some of those visits have made their way into a relatively new segment on the show that we like to call Smoking and Toasting Recommended Shops. These may be anywhere in the United States or even outside the United States. In this particular case, Plano, Texas. Here's a conversation that we had with Cliff from Plano while we were in Honduras, and he'll tell us a little bit about his shop, the Cigar Warehouse, the best little cigar shop in Texas, or something like that.
Best cigar warehouse in
Best
Texas.
cigar warehouse. Here's Cliff from Plano. All right, it's Smoking and Toasting time for another Smoking and Toasting Recommended Shop segment. And I don't know if shop really applies to a warehouse, but this is Cliff. Cliff, give us your name and the name of your store, and then we want to have you describe it for us, how it works.
Sure. My name's Cliff Allen, and I'm the manager of the Plano store of Cigar Warehouse, the best little warehouse in Texas.
Nice.
Our second store is on Royal and 75. My store is 2108 Dallas Parkway. Our second store, we have a 3,200 square feet store, which has a private members lounge and a public lounge and an 1,800 square foot walk-in humidor. My store is unique. It's 1,800 square feet, and it is a humidor. From the minute you walk in, the entire store is a humidor, which is why my hair turns frizzy in the summer.
We can see you've been battling with that while
I
you're
have
here.
for a long time.
Yes. So with a name like Cigar Warehouse, does the store give you that feel when you walk in that there's just rows and rows? I mean, the whole thing's a humidor. Rows and rows of cigars and boxes. You have a huge stock and supply?
Yes, that's an excellent way to describe it, actually. We carry all the mainstream cigars. You walk in the main door, tills on the right-hand side, and everywhere you look, there are cigars. We also carry some boutique blends. And as was mentioned earlier, unfortunately in Plano, you can't smoke. So Elliot, who's the owner, that's Elliot Seward, his philosophy is in, browse, buy, and leave. Okay? And that operation can take between 3 minutes and 15 minutes. It's entirely up to the customer.
I'm a long browser myself.
Yeah.
Like, my method is to walk in and do a first scan all the way around the humidor, and then on my second run around, I'll start picking up sticks.
Yeah, I'm with you. If I'm going someplace to buy a pair of shoes, I want to find the pair of shoes that looks right, that fits, and get the hell out of there.
Well,
but when it comes to cigars,
if you come to my store, you can always buy a pair of shoes because there's a shop down the road.
We'll see that.
So you have a totally different situation than a lot of cigar shops because your average customer is 15 minutes or less. You don't have a lounge, any of those.
That is very true. But it actually makes it quite exciting because we get the opportunity to interact with the customer on a personal level. Our standard is we meet and greet the customer, say hello, how are you doing today? Is there anything that we can help you with? And if the customer says, I just want to browse, we go, okay, if you have any questions, you just give me a shout.
So we've talked actually quite a bit over the last few days. Most cigar shop owners are able to smoke in their cigars, so they get to try out the new cigars all the time while they're in their shop. You get 2 shots a day to try out your cigars.
That is correct.
And they are?
My cigars?
Yes.
Yeah. When you get to
pretty
smoke?
much anything I can pick up that the owner doesn't see.
But when do you end up smoking them is what I'm saying.
No, seriously. We're open from 10 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. at night, Monday through Saturday, and then from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on a Sunday.
Oh.
Sunday guy's by himself, so unfortunately he doesn't get the opportunity to smoke, which is why I don't do Sundays. Monday to Fridays when I'm there, I'm by myself until usually around about 2 o'clock when the next guy will come in. So I'll take my break at 2. That's when I'll go and have a cigar. And it's really interesting because there's a grassy patch out the back of the shop, and we can go there and we can smoke. And being here in Texas, of course, that's most of the time. But in the winter, that's what I've got a truck for.
Well, you said earlier when we chatted too that on your trip into work and on your trip home from work.
Yeah, I'm one of these fortunate people that lives near the shop, 32 miles away. So that actually takes me an hour and an hour and 15 minutes, depending upon the traffic. So what I've learned is that a Robusto is not long enough and a Toro is perfect.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Cliff, and say that I don't think you are a Plano or Dallas native.
No, I
Is
actually
that
come
correct?
from East Texas.
Do you really?
Yeah, so far east of Texas. So far east of Texas, you get your feet wet.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was actually born in Newcastle upon Tyne, which is in the northeast of England.
Okay. And when did you come to the States, and did you come to Texas then, or?
I came to Texas in 2004. In a previous life, I was a technical support engineer for an engineering company. And in 2004, there was an opportunity to come over and become the engineering trainer. So I did that for about 8 years, and then I moved up the ladder in corporate world, and I became what's known as the Global Service Program Manager, which is a very fancy title, which means you will go out and deal with the customer and set up the training organization, the logistics, the spares, and everything, so that on the day that customer takes delivery of the machine and our installation team set it up, everything's in place for that to work.
Wow. And so what got you from that to spending your days in a cigar shop?
Well, in 2014, unfortunately, I discovered that I was superfluous to requirements because the customer...
Nicely said.
Oh, man.
The company was downsizing, and having a name like Alan, that's the first letter of the alphabet, so out you go, buddy.
Wow. That's the best phrase I think I've ever heard to describe that. That's way better than downsizing. So that was when you decided to do something you were also interested in, I assume.
Well,
yeah?
that's true. I didn't really get into cigars until I came across to the States. There are cigar stores in Scotland, which is where I used to live, but they tend to be like Cigar Warehouse. You're in, you buy, you're out.
Right.
To my knowledge, in Glasgow at that time, there was no cigar lounges.
Wow. Well, it sounds like a great store. I'm going to be up in your neck of the woods actually in a couple of months, so I'll look you up. That'll be fun.
Well, you come in and see us because veterans get 20% off.
Oh, well, I'm not a veteran, but I can...
No, but you look old enough to be a veteran.
Yeah, well, that I am.
Oh, you give a senior citizen discount.
Yeah,
we
senior
do.
citizen discount. Perfect. What has struck you most about your visit here at Camp Aladino in the GRE
This is also
factory?
your first
It is.
cigar
This
tour.
is my first cigar tour, and there are several things which have really ticked my boxes here. First of all, it's a big thanks to Julio and the family for looking after us so well. I think I've basically let my belt out 2 inches since I got here. The professionalism that's exhibited at all times. The fact that these guys do treat us as family, because at the end of the day, we are ambassadors for their brand. And it's very, very important that we understand how the process works. Here in Honduras, we've been privileged to see what happens with tobacco leaf that grows from a seedling all the way up to a full-blown plant, and then the explanation as to how it all works until it gets to the roller, gets to the boxes, etc. It's professional the whole way. And the quality assurance, I tell you guys, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's not surprising that this cigar is burning this straight. It's almost like razor's edge straight all the way down. Once you see the steps that they take
Yeah.
to ensure that that's what they're, and we've talked about with the one that's in development that wasn't burning this way. They're nowhere close to releasing that until they take it back and get it right.
They're going to make it perfect.
Yeah, but based on all the things that we were discussing, so that's been good. Has there been a particular cigar that stood out to you while you were here?
Well, it sounds like I'm jumping on the bandwagon, and I probably am, but this new Aladino Connecticut is one of the best Connecticut smokes I've ever had. It goes great with a cup of coffee. For me, once we get our hands on them, this is going to be my morning commute cigar.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I have to tell you, you said it goes great with coffee. The coffee here is amazing.
You're more of a coffee guy than I am. but-
I'm not that much of a coffee guy, really. I drink a couple cups of coffee in a week, but I've drank coffee every time they offer it to me here because it's delicious.
Yeah, it really has a richness that I think
Yes.
we're not necessarily used to.
That's true.
In the States. Well, it has sure been fun getting to hang out with you, get to know you a little bit, and I will look forward to coming to visit you in the shop.
Well, thanks for the opportunity.
And you're now a Smoking and Toasting recommended cigar shop. So,
Woohoo!
yeah. Thanks for being on the show.
Okay, you're welcome.
And thank you to Cliff and to our host there in Honduras. It was a great trip. We had a really
was
good time.
pretty amazing.
It was just so hard to find cigars to smoke. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to do a couple of tastings. We're going to taste the Everybody's Brewing the Carrillo. And then we are going to also be tasting the Gran Orindian Extra Añejo Tequila. And then you've got a beer left for us to taste, don't you?
I
my
do.
friend?
I brought the Weyerbacher Insanity Ale brewed
Ooh.
or aged in oak barrels.
Very nice. We might have to save the tequila for that segment then.
That one's only 13%.
Well, okay. Well, so we got a lot of great stuff coming up. And on the way, we will tell you about the 15 best tequilas you can buy right now. The Rob Report released a list, so you know there will be no expense expired.
Expense expired.
That's right. And we'll be right back. It's Smoking and Toasting.